J-Side on the decks! Leeds, Liverpool, Dublin to London! Rolling the pub with the Spurs shirt tight, talking about trophies every Friday night. Silver hair shining underneath the light, Irish silver fox feeling dynamite. Guinness in hand, giving it the big un, says this is our year. Every single season, dancing on tables, causing pure scenes. Believes Ant Ball runs the football machine. He's loud, he's proud, he's chatting all night. North London dreams underneath neon lights. From Dublin bars to White Hart Lane, Dermo brings the party again. Dermo the Tottenham fan, Irish silver fox, he's the king of the dance. Hands in the air when the bass line drops, singing, come on you Spurs! Non-stop, Dermo the Tottenham fan, moonwalking sideways with a pint in his hand. Silver fox swagger all over the floor, everybody screaming, one more. Silver fox in the rave tonight. Dermo got the place alight. Come on you Spurs tonight. Silver fox under the lights. Taxi ranks singing football chants loud. Got half a Yorkshire joining the crowd. Stacey laughing while the speakers explode. Dermo still dancing in the middle of road. Talking football till 3:30. Says Tottenham's massive with supreme belief. Hair slicked back with the Irish charm. Old school raver with the silver arm calm. Left foot slide, right foot spin. Dermo starts dancing, everybody joins in. Purple lights flashing, baseline kicks. Silver fox moving with the Tottenham tricks. Dermo the Tottenham fan, Irish silver fox. Everybody clap your hands, jumping round the club with a smile so wide. North London spirit with the Yorkshire vibe. Dermo the Tottenham fan, still shouting Spurs with a drink in his hand. From the first chant to the morning light, the silver fox owns the night. Same seats! Same seats! Same mates! Every other week, scarf up, heads high, hear the cockerel speak. White and blue in my blood, in my name. Born and bred for the lane, for the lane. We are Tottenham, super Tottenham from the lane. Sing it louder, feel it running through your veins.
Not a way to start the show, isn't it? Muting myself. Well, big up, guys. Welcome to THFC to a Die Hard, past, present, and the exciting future, of course, on the Robert De Zerbi. And here we are with the latest transfer rumour show, all the latest news around Tottenham Hotspur. Tomorrow night, there will be a bit of a special show where I'm going to give Romero my thoughts on Romero as captain, on Romero at his time at Tottenham, his antics, the way he is, my thoughts on everything. So do watch out for that tomorrow night. It's going to be explosive. Because I've a lot to say in it, and I've a lot to say in him, and I've a lot to say about him wearing the captaincy and what it means to be captain of our great club, what it means to wear that armband and lead the team out. And if you look at other captains we've had during the years, you look at Sonny, you look at Graham Roberts, you look at Gary Mabbott, you look at Robbie Keane, you look at Ledley King, all wore the armband with pride. And I know it's going to divide some of the fan base. I know a few other channels are well into Romero. I'm not. I'm done with him. Even if his team is Lincoln, it was him that linked him to Arsenal. I'm done with him anyway. And sooner he goes, the better. But look, more on that tomorrow night. Tonight's all about rumours, the news, and just a little roundup of all what's happening. But let's welcome a few people in as well. If you can do me a favour, guys, hit the like button if you can. A, it helps with our algorithm, getting us out there. B, hit the subscription button as well on our march to 3K. We're only 109 away from 3K and want to get there before the start of the season. Come on, we've got over a week and a bit to go. Come on, let's get there. And also, if you can, pick up a membership, 99 cents. I know I'm not really, I don't say it a lot because I feel you watching the channel is good enough for me. Hitting that subscription button and hitting that like button is good enough for me. But the money you do put into the channel does help. It gets us better graphics, better intros. The money you put in is already designing a new intro for me. Hopefully we'll have that before the start of the new season. And yeah, it all helps. And it keeps me doing what I love doing, and a lot of member shows coming up. We've got the predicted lineup first, guys. You're going to get that. You're going to get exclusively first the predicted lineup, exclusively for you the player ratings as well, and then it will go out to non-members later. But in my opinion, I think for 99 cents or 99p, whatever it is in your currency, you get a bang for your buck. And that's what we're here on the channel to do, to give you the best content we can do and keep you entertained along the way during another season with Tottenham Hotspur, the highs and lows, the roller coaster of supporting this massive, great football club. Let's welcome a few people in. Big up to Giant, big up Dermo, the Irish Silver Fox. Very funny. Yeah, that's going to stick a little bit, I think. Panel and chat. It's just me tonight, Giant. I'm doing it solo. They're letting the loony run riot in the asylum. Are we getting Baglow gun? I haven't heard, but I have asked the question and I'm waiting for a major update. Big up Dermo, big Iceman. Now, Iceman, I know you've sent me an email. I cannot find it. I don't know which email you sent it to. Can you just trying to think of it now. Can you are you using the email in the description below? And if you can you send it again? Because I've been looking for it and I can't find it. So if you can send it for me again, Iceman, I would be extremely grateful. That's why I haven't got back to you, because I haven't found it. And I hope you're using the right email. It should be the one in the description below. If it is, can you do that for me? I would be very grateful indeed. Big up to Giant68. Big up with 150 joules. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Big up to I am the real Daniel 777. Ooh, you Daniel Levy. Welcome. Dermo, big ups. Big up to you, Daniel. With our transfer account squad, I expect to win the league this season. As a minimum, it will be a complete failure if we don't win the league this season after our net spend. I don't think we're finished yet. And De Zerbi's come out and said we're not finished yet. Look, I've always said it. With our squad at the moment, Champions League football at the minimum, maybe a little bit of Europa League, but Champions League football, I think we can get there. We need a forward line. We need a striker. We need a number 9. That's the last piece to this puzzle. And if we can get that striker in before the end of the window, which I think we will do, I think then why not? Why not aim to, that's Tottenham's sort of motto, to dare us to do. Why can we not dream of going for the title? If we get a left winger and, We've got Kudus on the right. Think about it. If we get a striker and a left winger with Kudus on the right, we would have a front three to fear any defence in this season. And then also you got Xavi going to come back from injury, and players like this, Kulu coming back. Do you know, we could end up being a really team that's going to go places. So look, why not dream big? Why not dream the biggest dream win in the league? Why can't we? Why can't we? I bet did Leicester fans say that the year they won the league? No. Do you know, they finished 17th, won the league the previous year. We've had talks about it, me and Philip Brady, and he said the same thing to me. He stuck a tenner on it. I've stuck a fiver on us winning the league. I stuck it on months ago. I think I got it at 150 to 1. But look, I think we're the biggest spenders because we've had to spend. We've had to go out and spend because I finished 17th twice and we had no option but to spend. But what we have done is we haven't wasted the money. We've went out and bought quality players, either in free transfers or in money transfers. We've done it right. And we've done it right. We've done it from the back, the midfield, and now we're going to sort out the forward line. And that was always the plan. Now, which way do you do it? Do you do it back to front or front to back? Do you know, to win any title, you need a strong defence. You need to lay your foundations. Then you need the spine of the team. So you want your goalkeeper sorted out. Kingsley, I think Kingsley's Tottenham's number one, and rightly so. You got your back four. You got Van der Ven, who has signed a new contract, committed to the club, committed to the dream, committed to De Zerbi. You got Van Heckel. You got Sensini. You got Robinson. You've got Porro. Now, there is something about your doggy, which I'm going to bring up, and something about Jed Spence. So maybe we have to buy a new left back and probably a right back. But also, don't forget Van der Ven can play left back as well. You look at the midfield, you've got a Tonali, you've got a Fernandes, you've got Gallagher in there, you've got Archie Gray that can play. Archie Gray can also play right back as well. So you've got Archie Gray that can play in multiple positions. That's what you need in a squad. You need versatility. You need players that can play, that can help out when you really need them to. And the last thing you fix in any team is your forward line. It's your striker. A striker that's going to score you more than 15 to 20 goals a season. They gain you points. They're the strikers that turn defeats into draws or draws into wins. We had that with Harry Kane. We had that for years on the Harry Kane. How many points did he gain Tottenham during the season where we looked like we were losing and he popped up with an equaliser to gain us a point, or he popped up with a winner when we were looking we're going to draw the game? Do you know, it is vital we get this number 9. And I'm sorry, Solanke and Richarlison are not their number 9s. Solanke is as useless as bringing, I don't know how you would describe Solanke. I'm trying to think of a way of actually describing. It's like bringing a brush to a gun shootout. Do you know how useless that going to be? I mean, that's how useless he is. He's always injured. He's always trying to feel something in his ankle, or I've got a sore throat. Sorry, boss, I can't play today. And I think for me, that tells me everything I need. Now, is it a mental block? Is it a mental sort of he can't get his head round? Maybe it is. But if you're at a big club like Tottenham, you don't need to carry players like that. You need players that are fit and ready to play through the pain barrier if you need them to. And look, and Richarlison, look, he's not the great striker in the world. Was top goal scorer last year, and look, but we all love Richarlison because he's proud to wear the shirt. He's proud to play for us. He breathes, eats and sleeps and breathes Tottenham, and that's what you want from players. He's good around the dressing room. He's funny. He's larky. He's always cracking a joke, but he's deadly serious as well. But you know, we do need to upgrade on them, and that is really, which we will do, and De Zerbi has said that we will do. He says we're not finished yet, and I don't think we are. And I think over the next week or so, we're going to get a couple of bumpers coming our way. I think on the striker, and I think on the left winger. I keep saying Savinho will be done. Savinho will be a Spurs player. When that will happen, God only knows, because it's been going on nearly a year now. And somebody sent me a joke today. Big up to you. I am the real David. Somebody sent me a joke today that, you know, Tottenham were formed on the 5th of September, 1882. On the 6th of September, 1882, we're open talks with Savinho. I mean, 100 and something years later, we're still trying to get him in the door. I understand transfers do take a long time to get through. And I was always told, and this is something I've always based my transfer knowledge on, that even if you don't hear about it, everything's still working along in the background. So it's about Man City getting the playroom for them. I think the fee's been agreed. Savinho wants to join. De Zerbi wants Savinho to join. He will join. He will be a Tottenham Hotspur player. I guarantee that by the end of the window, he will be in the Spurs shirt. And if he's not, I would think something up as a way of I'm trying to think of the word now. It's gone completely clean out of my head. Yeah, I'll have to do something as a joke to say that. But yeah, but that's for me. Look, a lot's going. But big up to you. I am the real Daniel. Big up to Iceman. Rumour gone, in my opinion. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. I mean, that will get done probably in the next 72 hours. He will be done. I'm sure I will be on, discussing that with you. But how many times has he let us down? But many times has he put his life in the line for. And that's the thing, isn't it? That is I don't know. That is the double-edged sword with Romero. He is a player that you would follow into war, that he lays his lie on the line for the club. But there is a flip side to him, that he lets the club down so badly by getting sent off, by being rebellious, by not thinking and being rash. But does he do that with Argentina? No. Does reputation precede him? Yes, of course it does. But look, I think with that, it's an open-end. It really is a complicated conversation to have. And I think it's worth having tomorrow night. And I think it's worth talking about. And I think it's worth having what I have to say and hearing what you guys have to say. And I wonder if there's some way we can meet in the middle on this and maybe just say, do you know what? Yes, we can look at the good times, but we can't forget the bad times. And sometimes you've got to put that into a conversation as well. Put it into a stirring pot and see what comes out. But big up Iceman. You do make a good point. He has put his body on the line for us, for this club. But I think that sort of, the more he's done wrong outweighs the more he's done good for us. That's just my thoughts on it. But, maybe I'm wrong. And big up, he says, I also think this season everyone's defence across the Premier League has got worse. Many players moving on and past the prime. Do you know what? You look at other clubs going around, you look at the so-called Big Six, and they're not really spending as much money, are they? Like they have done. And I was speaking to Nick today, who's on the podcast on Thursday, and we were talking about Tottenham and Chelsea and which manager is going to have a better season. And I said, look, I think De Zerbi is going to have a... Okay, we can. I think De Zerbi will have a better season than Alonso at Chelsea. And Nick was saying, I don't know, mate. I don't know. But I do feel that. I do feel Tottenham in a far better position than what Chelsea are. And I think we're going to be a shock for everyone in the league this year. Is it the same like we were under Ange Postecoglou when he started? Not really, because De Zerbi's already managed the club. He's already had competitive games in the Premier League. So teams sort of know how we're going to play, but with the new players and a beefed up midfield, I think we've got one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. I really do. I think Arsenal have a strong midfield. I think we do, and I think if you're looking across the Premier League as a whole, I think Tottenham's probably the most improved squad, or improving squad of the Premier League, improving squad over the likes of Arsenal out the top six. So there's no way we're going to be where we were last two seasons. I think this year we've got a different mentality. We've got a mentality of winning. We've got a mentality of playing to the end and not giving up and never say die attitude. And we had that under Poch. I had that under Birkinshaw as well. I keep comparing some of this side to the 80s side, that it's the same mentality. It's the same. There's captains across the pitch like there was with the 80s side. You look at the side under Terry Venables in the late 80s and early 90s. There was a few captains across that pitch. Yes, we had Gaza. Yes, we had Lineker in the 90s side. And yes, in the 80s, we had a Glenn Hoddle and players like that. But if you look at the turnover of players, even from Birkinshaw to David Pleat to Terry Venables, you look at 87, it was a year that we really should have won a trophy. and we didn't. But you look at the way we had a Chris Waddle, we had a Glenn Hoddle, you had a Gazza and Lineker into that. Jesus, we could have won the league. And I do believe we would have done. But again, it was always something. I always said it as a kid, and it was always said to me, Tottenham will do so well, but they always find some way of shooting themselves in the foot. And I think we've had to shake them. This Spursy tag, we've had to shake it. We've had to, and they're right about the Spursy tag because we were very Spursy for the last 2 seasons. But I think we're going to shake that off with De Zerbi. We're going to push on and really be successful. And I guarantee you, I'm putting us down to win a trophy this year, either a League Cup or an FA Cup. I would love us to win an FA Cup. That for me would be a return home for me, because I keep saying it. There's a lot of people to watch this channel. A lot of people who subscribe, and a lot of people go to the ground and watch, who's never seen us in an FA Cup final. I mean, I was a teenager last time we won the FA Cup back in 91, and there's a lot of people, possibly in this chat tonight, have never seen us win an FA Cup, and that is so sad. That is so sad. Big up to Gerard. Where we're going to get a KO better camp, but it's back in Europe with what we're maybe 10-30 with no goes no. Gerard, they ain't finished yet. Come on, be positive. Be positive. Big up to Roy Park. Get ready for the bag of Gondoma. This will be a whimper of a finish of a window, considering how well we started. I still think we're going to finish strongly, Roy. I do. For what I'm hearing, we're going to finish strongly. Monaco wants 60 million for him. Need to get that price down. Yeah, probably 30-40. Roy, would you agree? Big up to Wayne. Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Big up, Wayne. Boy, how you doing? I think we're big up to Rick Harris. How you doing, Rick? Hope you're doing well, buddy. He says, I think we have a solid defence, centre midfield. We're lacking out wide in number 10, plus quality forward. I think we will sort that out for the end of the window, and I can see us sorting that out before the end of the window. Let's not lose faith just yet. I think it's a massive failure if we don't win the league. We're seriously better off relegated than not win the league with this squad. Look, I get it. I do get it. But I do feel we have to improve in a lot of areas before we can declare ourselves league challengers. I think we're Champions League challengers this year. I think we're going to be there or thereabouts. And don't forget, even if you finish 5th, there's a good majority chance you're going to get Champions League football for that. But I think concentrate the cups, concentrate the league, 1 game a week. The sky's the limit. Why can't we dream? Dreaming is what we do. That's what football fans do. We're going to need our defenders and midfield to carry most offensive load if the front line is what we start the season with. Not having director of football really hurt us. Lang is not. Look, I agree. Lang is not a director of football. I completely agree with that 100%. I think if you look at January, it was a bit like you leaving it in the hands of Father Ted and Dougal. Our window in January, like. I don't know if anyone's watched Father Ted, but Father Ted's a brilliant comedy where Father Ted forgets to do the funeral and Father Dougal does it. And how that happened, cars in hearses in graves and explosions everywhere. And him saying it was a great funeral, wasn't it? That's how I see Tottenham's transfer window last January. And even in summer, we failed in a lot of ways too. I think, look, we had a great start. I think the World Cup getting in the way hasn't helped either. It's been a stop-start transfer window, but not a lot. The other top 6 have bought. We're the biggest spenders, and I think we're going to end up spending more for the end of the window. Dermo, that is when it was real FA Cup. Yeah, I have to agree. I do agree. Kudos in that 10 space on the right. Yeah, absolutely, Iceman. And I really hope we sort it out, Dermo. If we do big season hit, yeah. And if we do, it is. And I do believe that if we can sort out the left wing, the striker, I think we've got the 10 sorted out with Madison. I really do. And I think also there's going to be a good feel factor when Mickey van der Ven signed a new deal as well. And I think that's also going to give a sort of goodwill factor going through the squad, knowing that he's committed, that he's really wants to stay around and fight with De Zerbi. And I think it's great that we do, and I'm over the moon he's signed in his new contract. Imagine Porro and Spence on that, right? I still believe we should not sell Spence. I get it. There is options that he wants to play first team football, but I think we should sell them, and I think we don't need to sell them. But how do you convince somebody to stay that? And I know by playing one game a week, how do you convince that person to say, look, you're in my plans. We've only got one game a week. How do you convince? You have to keep a squad happy. And it's very difficult if you're not in Europe. It's easy. And then you say, well, look, you're going to play this minute of games. You're going to play that many games in Europe, that many games in the league. We'll give you the cup games as well. You know, that's easy. But when there's only one game a week plus the cup games, then you can't. It's very hard to keep anyone happy. I'm big up to John Fitzpatrick as well. Dermot, unless we get a good striker, I don't see this finish. Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. We need a striker. And we need to go out and spend good money. We need an Osimhen. We do need an Osimhen. And it's about getting it right, spending it right, and getting the right people in that De Zerbi can work with. And not just buying players that the club think are good, buying players what the manager wants. And not to be afraid to spend money and not to be afraid of paying the wages as well, which has been our biggest problem over the years. Because not spending the money, not paying the wages has really hurt us with the players that we could have gone after and should have got in the football club. I mean, the list is long. You go back under the Daniel Levy years, how many players did we miss out on because of 5 million here or 2 million there, or 3 million here? If this new board and this new ownership is serious about us being successful, is serious about us winning stuff, is serious about us competing at the highest level, is serious about us going for leagues, going for cups, going for Europe, then they're going to have to spend the money and they're going to have to pay the wages to go with that. Now, will that hurt us in the long run? I don't think it will, because one thing I will praise Daniel Levy for, he's left us in the position where we can do this, where we have got wiggle room. But, I mean, with the loophole that it is that any team not in Europe can spend up to 85% of their annual income, and that includes everything that comes into the football club, next year it drops down to 75%. So we are going to have a bit of a headache. We are going to have a little bit of an issue, but I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about. I don't think it's going to be anything to panic about, because I think we have enough in hand to cover that. And if you look at the way we've done our selling as well this year and our buying and selling, look at the players who we sold. We've recruited nearly over 100 million on sales, and they're not really big names. You haven't added a Romero. You haven't added a Vicario. You haven't added a Bergville in there. They're all players that were on the fringe or were first team that weren't going to get any minutes. So whoever's doing the transfer and the ins and outs has actually done a perfect window. And you can end that by buying a decent striker, a decent left winger, get 2 left wingers in, or 3 attacking players, really. A striker and somebody that can play across the front 3. You get 2 of them in. You're laughing, and then you can compete at the highest level. And the thing is, it's not to stop then. It's to compete it in January. If you need to add to it early. And then you want to start next summer early, because 9 times out of 10, we're going to be in some sort of Europe next year. Either it's a Conference League, Europa League, or Champions League. So, you've got to start planning for next season now. And I think that's what Tottenham are doing. I think De Zerbi is going to do that. But we know how De Zerbi can be volatile. We know how De Zerbi can be, if he doesn't get his way, he will start throwing his toys out the pram. It's all about the owners keeping him happy, because I think De Zerbi's the best thing to happen for Tottenham in a hell of a long while. And the squad he's building is probably going to be better. And I'm stating this now. If he builds the squad he wants to build, and we get a 100% decent striker, two more attacking players, and we can keep Spence, I think this is a better squad than the Poch squad that was successful but not successful. This squad will get over the line. That's just my opinion. I'm so excited about this new season. I'm absolutely buzzing. But big up, John. Hope you and the family are doing well in Limerick. Let me know how you're doing, brother. But big up to you, my Irish brother. Great to see you in the chat. Giants said if no new striker and at least another versatile forward will struggle for top 8 or 10. I still think we'll get Europe either way. We will end up with a decent striker. We are going to end up, I say we're going to buy 3 more in. That's what I'm, 3 more. I think 3 more will come into the club. Let's see now. Yeah, the Spurs watcher saying Tottenham are pushing to sign Florlin Balogun. Spurs have opened talks with AS Monaco. That is from. See, there's a lot of rumours because Tottenham haven't bought the striker yet. Every man on Twitter is going to say that player's going to Spurs. That player's going to Spurs. It's good that we're attracting interest, but I don't think he's the player. I really don't. I think we need to go out and get Osimhen. We really do. Even though I do question Osimhen's attitude, you cannot question the talent. You cannot question the goal scoring ability, and he's willing to take a pay cut as well. So go and get it done, Spurs. Get it done. Big up to Rick Harris. I would not sell Spence, but as RDZ said yesterday, if a player does not want to play for Spurs, then they can go. And do you know what, Rick? I think that's so refreshing to hear. A manager putting the club first, saying, look, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here at all. If you just want to be here just for the sheer hell of it and just for the money, then you can get out of my club. I think that we've had problems over the years, guys. I don't know if you agree or disagree. Let me know in the chat or in the comments that we've had too many players that are just here for the money, just here for the ride, just here because they can pick up a wage every week. And they're not serious about competing. They're not serious of putting the shift in. We've had too many players like that over the years at Tottenham. And we've had managers who are here for the same thing. Look, we can all complain about Levy, but we can always say, Levy didn't back that manager, or we didn't back that manager. But did a Mourinho have our best interests at heart? Did a Conte have us at the best interests at heart? Did the Thomas Frank have our best interests at heart? I would say Poch did. I would say Ange cared about the club. I say Poch got the club, Ange got the club, and Robert De Zerbi gets the club. And I think a lot of these managers see it as a stepping stone to something better. And look, I could be wrong, and you may not agree with me, but I do believe that it goes with players and managers. De Zerbi saying, right, you don't want to be here, then there's the exit door. If you're not proud to pull on that shirt, if you're not proud to go out and play in front of 60,000 people every other Saturday, you're not proud to go out and represent this football club home and away and across Europe, then I don't want you here. And he's right to say that, and he's absolutely bang on. Too many players over the years at Tottenham are just here, just for the paycheck. And that's it. It's simple. Look, you can name hundreds, probably 20 players that we know are here just for the paycheck. So we've got a manager saying, right, you want to play here, I want you playing for me. I want you playing for me. I want you playing for this football club. You don't want to do that. There's the exit. Go. And maybe Spence is one of them. Maybe, look, I think we should keep Spence, but maybe Spencer said to him, look, if I don't get first team football, I want to move. And De Zerbi says, right, I'm going to call you bluff. Go on, find another club. You won't play for me. And I think it'd be a shame because I think Spence had a really good World Cup, and I think his versatility is so handy. A bit like Archie Gray's versatility is absolutely. You need players that are versatile within the squad just to fit in when you need them to. Especially if you go down to 10 men or you get an injury, you've run out of substitutes. You know that player, right? Can you fit into right back for me? Can you play left back for me? So, it is what it is. But if you don't want to be here, then go. Don't want you here. Want players that want to play for this my beloved, massive club. Big up my Irish brother. Big up to you, John Fitzpatrick. Big up Iceman. I'm talking about Spence playing up high. Can he take a man on crossbar? Interesting. Do you know what? I'm going to have a think about that, Iceman. I'll get back to you later in the week of that. I might even talk about that in the podcast this Thursday. That gives me a talking point. Big up to you, Iceman. Big up to you, bud. Look at what he'd done to Bale, and he came to a... Yeah, exactly. Oh, is that what you're getting at? Yeah, I do. Look, to answer that question, if you keep saying we did it with Bale, and what Harry Redknapp did with Bale to turn him from a left back into the winger he'd become, I think Jed Spence can do the same. You look at him at the World Cup, how many times did he burst down that left wing? Overlapping the winger, really giving the winger help. And you look, he won the penalties and he played well. And I think Jed Spence is a very good player who's found himself, who's found his level. So yeah, I get what you mean now. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. It isn't, but it's about him being committed to Tottenham. It's about him willing to wait, willing to give deserve, willing to say, okay, this season with one game a week, it's going to be difficult, but I know I'm going to get certain game time. I know it's going to be rotation. I know that I'm going to get minutes next season when we're in Europe and other competitions. There's going to be more game time, more minutes, because don't forget, with the league focus of a Champions League or Europa League or the Conference League, you know you're going to get minutes. And early rounds of the League Cup, early rounds of the FA Cup, certain Premier League games, you want your best players for your top Premier League games. But if you're playing, I don't know, Coventry away, you can put a Jed Spence in there to do that. So I think it's about rotation and being willing to commit to the team, not for your own selfish needs. Big up to Riggy. Exactly, Dermo. Europe next season needs to be a minimum requirement. Get good attackers, and it will be a great season. You know, Rick, I agree with you 100%. Big up to Marco. Hope you're doing well. Big up and good evening, Dermo. Big up to you, Marco. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Big up to Aaron King as well. Big up. I love the badge. Love the logo. My favourite logo. Evening all coys. Big up to you as well. Well said, Dermo. No players bigger than the cup. No. I think there's only two players, I think, well, maybe three people are bigger than the club and rightly to be bigger than the club. I think Bill Nick's one. He's bigger than the club. I think Stevie Perriman's another one who's bigger than the club. I think the third one may be a bit controversial, but I'm going to go with it. Maybe you guys in the chat will probably agree. Put it in your chat. Is there any place or manager that's bigger than the club? I think my third one would be Glenn Hoddle. I think them three, Bill Nick, Stevie Perriman, and Glenn Hoddle, they're all bigger than the club. I think their personalities, what they achieved, their talent, whatever, there's something about them that makes them Mr. Tottenham. Bill Nick's Mr. Tottenham, so is Stevie Perriman Mr. Tottenham. They are Tottenham. Glenn Hoddle came through the ranks. He is one of our own. Maybe you disagree, but that's how I see it. I'd love to know, guys, what you think on that. If any player doesn't have Tottenham in the heart, will never get. Yeah, exactly. Please don't try and defend Daniel Levy. I am, and I will. And if I feel he needs to be complimenting some of the things he does at the club, I will. If he doesn't, I'll criticise him, which I've always done. Please don't try and defend Daniel Levy. If you haven't learned by now, that coaching the squad on that coaching is not Spurs fans on, or should be, that they do a job. Don't disagree. I disagree completely. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, Dave, but I do disagree in some ways that, you know, there is players that love this football club. You can't tell me Gary Mabbitt doesn't love this football club, or Glenn Hoddle doesn't love this football club, or Robbie Keane doesn't love this football club, or you can't tell me that Moura is not a fan of this football club and not a Tottenham fan. You're telling me Richarlison doesn't care about this football club. You're telling me Stevie Perriman doesn't care about this football club. There's plenty of players between now and the past that really care about this club and are fans and still wear the Tottenham heart on their sleeve. I get it. I get what you're trying to say. And also on the Danny Levy thing, you do have to pay compliments where compliments are due. I am not saying he deserves carte blanche. I'm not. But you've also got to say that if it wasn't for what he did on the financial side, we would not have had this headroom for here. He was the first one to bring in the concerts, the go-kart track. All that money is now helping us now spend the money we spent this year. And we've said it on this channel. And David, you know me well enough now. I'm nearly 5 years doing this channel. You've been in this chat a long time. You and me have agreed, disagreed, butted heads, but we've always done it in a respectful way. That I will always praise Daniel Levy if he deserves praising. I'll always criticise him if he needs criticising. It's the same with the ownership. Doesn't mean that I'm fully in. I'm not. They have to back this up in January. They have to back this up over the windows coming. But you do have to give the man some credit. You do have to say, well, look, maybe on the pitch was a complete failure, but off the pitch, he did make us into a bit of a juggernaut. And it was always said that he built Tottenham into a massive starship. It needed a different captain to captain this starship. And that's what we're finding now. We've got different people in charge with a different mentality, with a different way of thinking, with a different way who have learned from their mistakes last year. And the mistakes was they made mistakes. We nearly got relegated. And they've come into this summer saying, we cannot make the same mistakes again. We have to be bolder. And they have been bolder. But it's because that what Daniel Levy did, why we can be bolder. And there's other clubs now that are thinking, oh, hang on a minute. Look at Villa. Villa had concerts at their stadium. No Premier League team did this. Tottenham were the first team to do this. Tottenham were the first team to bring NFL. All that revenue comes back into the club. Now, you may agree or disagree with me. You may say, Dermo, you're talking absolute shite. Goes into the pockets of Ian. It goes into the other projects. We don't know. We do not know. And you may be right. I may be right. We may be both right. May be both wrong. May be right and meet in the middle. But I do believe that what he did do off the field has helped us now to do what we've done this summer. It's given us the headroom. And also, I think if you look what he was trying to do, and on the field, he got everything horribly wrong. He should have backed Poch and he didn't. We should have done a lot of things. The 3 windows we didn't buy players. That was failing the manager. And he was too trigger happy at times. But I think also, when you try to see what he did off the field, a lot of other clubs are trying to follow suit. Man United are building a new stadium with entertainment in mind. Tottenham come up with that first. Football is a changing animal. It's a changing dynamics. It's a changing industry where you cannot depend just on the fans coming in and what on the turnstiles every week, on the Saturday, or what you sell in the club shop. You've got to make other incomes. And Tottenham were ahead of that on making other incomes to come into the squad, to come into the team, to go and buy it. And the money was never spent, but the money's there now to be spent. And we are spending it. So in the long run, was he right? Possibly. Why am I right to say he failed on the footballing side? Absolutely. But on non-football and the business side, he's made Tottenham into the juggernaut that it is. And I do agree with Simon Jordan when he always said that. Simon Jordan said that Tottenham as a starship needed a new captain. We've got a new captain. But maybe people will disagree with that. People will say, well, did you think of it this way or did you think of it that way? And you're right to say what you're saying. You're right to say, but I'll always tell it how I see it. And not a lot of people will agree with me. Not a lot of people will agree what I have to say. But it is what it is. That's true, David, but Poch, Sonny, Kane, all became Spurs fans. Exactly. What do you think of the purple? I love the purple third kit. I really do. I love the purple third kit. Led King, yeah, it's a good shirt. Nobody's big in the club. I'm sorry, I'm putting that. I think Bill Nick's as big as the club. Bill Nichols and Bill Nick, our most successful manager. He is Mr. Tottenham. He laid the foundations for Tottenham going between the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. He's soul, he's heartbeat. He is the soul of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. I'll stand by that. Love the purple kit. I'm going to get it, by the way, Giant, but not keen on this one. Oh, no, I'm going to get it. I think I will. It's a throwback, the third kit. Oh, yeah, it is a bit of a throwback, isn't it, Rick, to be fair? I like what have been a lot nicer without the black lines through it. Yeah, if it was just purple. To be honest, and I'm being old-fashioned here, I just like the yellow kit. I prefer the whole yellow kit. But look, the purple kit is good. Levy did a great work and does deserve as much credit as negativity. That's how I see it. Big up Swigs Talk Spurs. Everyone get over to his channel. It's only a EU channel, so big up to you. Does some great stuff over there. I may not always comment, but I'm always watching. I enjoy your shows, buddy. Keep up the good work. And we have to get you on here one day. We'll email, we'll get in touch somehow. But definitely have to get you on, bud. Sandra and Lamella absolutely love our club. Sandra travels to games from Spain. Yeah, he does, yeah. Marco and Rick Howard's not my choice, but I don't like the lines in it. Same here. Yes, financially prudent for 25 years, being a stagnant football club. Well, look, we're not going to be stagnant anymore. So, but the past is the past. we can keep looking at the past and getting grease in the neck. Look forward. It's all about now. Sandra and Ardelis King do say them toss. Exactly, Iceman. Yes, exactly. Without the lines, I think it'd be a lot. Yeah, I do agree with you as well. Levy bought the alternative revenue into Spurs. Yes, yes, to make himself wealthy and nothing else. We have to agree to disagree. You see it your way, I see it mine. But no, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. When Levy came into this club, it was a shit show under Sugar. He was a failure over 20 years on the field, transfer market, but nobody can argue about what an amazing job he did to build the. I'm trying to find out what she said. Oh, here we go. He ran out of lines, everyone. Big up, Marco. To build the infrastructure and the stability with other clubs who are on the brink of financial ruin. Absolutely. 100%. That I agree with. Levy built the club to what it is today. Big up. You would say that because you're the real Daniel Levy, apparently. Big up to you, Daniel. Hope you've hit the subscribe button. Get in. I love your comments, by the way. Levy was here 20 years and did what? We're a football club. He's a total bloody failed. Yeah, on the pitch he failed. Off the pitch he didn't. And I will argue that to the end of my days. He didn't fail us off the pitch. He failed us on the pitch. And I've always said that. Infrastructure. Without Levy, we would have zero money to spend the summer. We should have been relegated last season. No relegation fighting team has ever brought in this level of players. And we did this summer. That's true. Rooney was an Everton fan. He kissed the badge and he kissed it goodbye. And still an Everton fan to this day. And I'm sorry, David, he is an Everton fan and still is. Bill Nick is Mr. Tottenham. End of him. Yeah, I agree with you, Rick Harris, 100%. Tottenham is Bill Nicholson and Bill Nicholson is Tottenham Hotspur. And it's very simple, Domo. We're winning the league. Do you know what? I love it. I love it. You're deluded as me. Keep it going. Right, let's get on with some of the news, guys. Tottenham Hotspur, another club with a Borussia Dortmund's chief scout Sebastian Kong on the radar. Several candidates are still under discussion as Spurs look to add to their recruitment team in the coming weeks. Sebastian Kong played a key role in signing Haaland and Bellingham for Dortmund. That is courtesy of Ben Jacobs. So let us know what you think about that. Destiny Udogie, this from the Football Insider. Now, a lot of talk about Udogie. Hasn't been seen at all in pre-season. I don't know where he is. If he's got lost in the Tottenham Hotspur way, if he's stuck in some time warp somewhere like he hasn't. I don't know where he is. Haven't even seen him in one of the videos. He is apparently at the club. Apparently. But hey ho. We will find him. Destiny, where are you? We'll find you. Anyone? We're good. You know you got your Where's Wally books. We can have Where's Destiny. This is from Football Insider. Tottenham Hotspur have no plans to sell left back Destiny Udogie in the coming years. Sources have told Football Insider if Tottenham were thinking of selling him, he will be worth around 36.6 million to 41 million euro. So Udogie looks like he's here to stay. This is from the Lane and back about Gianluca Vicario. Now, I was told, I will give you the latest. I was told on this, guys. So give me a second. Let me bring it up. I have got a little bit of news, which I am going to talk about in a while. But here we go. We have, this should be the ins and outs. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Here we go. So the latest I've got, and these are all rumours until confirmed. We know Rumour will be off to Atletico Madrid. We're just waiting for the here we go. We know Spence. Now, Spence could be off to Inter Milan. There's a lot about Spence. I'm going to talk about Spence in a moment. Vicario could be off to Juventus. Now, as I stand, that is waiting for here we go. Juventus have been working hard to sign a new deal. Goalkeeper following the struggles of Michel Di Gregioni last season. They have been left disappointed in pursuit of Alisson Becker, whose moves have been blocked by Liverpool, while Aston Villa continued to equally tough deal with Martinez. This has led the Turin Giants to shift their focus towards Gianluca Vicario, and I think that is a good move for all in purposes, for us, for Vicario, for Juventus as well. I think that's a move that will happen, and again, I think that will get here we go in the next 2 to 3 working days, 2 to 3 days. So you look at that 24 to 72 hours. I think we may here we go. Price range around about 19.4 million to 23.8. I think it's going to be around the 18 million mark. Not 18.5 to 19 million. It may be a loan with an obligation to buy, by the way, so don't be surprised if that. Now, another player that Tottenham are rumoured to be looking at is the Everton winger of, let me see, is Ilman Nadadi, to see if he would be open to a possible move. His main position is the right wing, attacking midfielder. Other positions, left wing and attack midfielders. We're not the only club. We're not the only club in for him. Of course, Manchester United are looking for him as well, and a Saudi Arabia club is also looking at why would you want to go to Saudi Arabia at his age? But look, there is a wage somebody's on in Saudi Arabia, and I was shocked. I had to put it in. But I was totally, absolutely dumbstruck when I read it. So that is one of the rumours going about, guys. The next rumour is Endrick as well. Now, the latest on Endrick is this. Now, where is it? Now, it looks like loads of, and this is other bit of rumours, that loads of targets are ready to go, just need De Zerbi, okay? That's why Spurs are not worried. Marmoush looks like it's a no-go. He won't become to Tottenham. He played all pre-season and are happy to stay at Man City. What else got? What we got here? Also on Endrick, which I think both will happen. So the other bit, where is it? Oh, there it is. No, it's not what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Endrick loan is a backup option. If number one target of Oshiman is a no-go. So we are looking at Endrick as well. Now, he is around 28.5 million to 34.8 million. He can play centre forward, but he can play second striker and a right wing as well. But we're not the only club in for him. Liverpool are in for him, so Fenerbahce. So he has a bit of choice. Now, Tottenham not being in the Champions League does play a role in this. But we have to wait and see. But I do believe we will make a bid for Oshiman. That's just what I'm thinking. That is what I'm saying. And also, there's a free agents around, and players that we've been linked with over the years. We know Frank Kessie is a free agent, 29 years of age, salary around £225,000 per week. We've got Fabinho as well, 32, salary around £230 a week. We know Dusan Vlahovic is a free agent as well, 26. I think why a lot of people are not after Vlahovic, I think his injury list is probably putting a lot of clubs off, but 368, he'll have to come down around the £200,000 mark to join Tottenham. Now, the bottom one, I'm not saying Tottenham should go for it, but it was just the wages per week in Saudi Arabia. Now, this man, Riyad Mahrez, he did play for Leicester and won the league for Leicester. He's 35. But his salary per week is £861,000 per week. I am sorry, no footballer is worth nearly £1 million a week. I am sorry, that is just ridiculous. You know, if one player got that a week, that's him sorted for the rest of his life. But 861, I don't know how much that is a month. So if you're looking at that, so 861.000 multiplied by 4. Oh no, it's not it. Is it? Okay. So let me do that again. 861. Cheers. Thank you. Maths was never my strong point. 3.2 million for a month. That is just, that is mind-boggling. That is just ridiculous. And that's why players are going to Saudi Arabia. You get that a month. Wouldn't you go? Wouldn't you, as a young player, and they're offering you that amount of money? Wouldn't you go? And you understand why the players are going. That's about 50 million a year. That is ridiculous. And I only put it on there not because of not because of Tottenham should go and get him, but just the wage itself, and that's in Saudi Arabia. That is just mind-boggling. Oh yeah, okay, 3.7 million. Yeah, look, I'm useless at maths, so it would have taken me probably another hour to get to that figure. But yeah, big up to you. That is mind-boggling. That is absolutely mind-boggling. It is ridiculous, and you wonder why these young players are going to Saudi Arabia. There's your answer. Few people in chat, and then we'll end off there. Levy was sacked because he had a secret meeting with that woman, flogged the club behind her on his back, and that's why Lewis sacked him. That's how much Levy thought of his godfather in the club. Well, look, I'm no lover of Enoch either, so maybe old Joe Lewis and Levy can live on an island together because they both cause problems for this football club. Does anyone think the gut instinct Destiny suffered last year coincided with injury, absence in etc., wondering if he just wants out of London? I wonder too. I wonder, and I wonder if there's more going on there that's being let out in the media. But look, sooner we get Destiny, he's a good player, Destiny, your doggy. He really is. Atletico Madrid want Spurs to drop their price, and that will happen. No Italian club apart from one, which has taken over that billionaire. I can see him going to Spain, and that's it. Savinho, 2 goals in 53 games. Spurs were same at the West. I think he's a good player. I think he's a player that get you on the edge of your seat, a bit like Aaron. I think Ricky Sachs said it last night. It's going to be like Aaron Lennon back in the day that got you on the edge of your seat. But yeah, I look, it's going to happen. And I can't wait to see him in the Spurs shirt. Absolutely ridiculous wages. Marco, 3.4. Oh, hang on, there's a bit of a disagreement here. 3.44. That's how it come up on my calculator, to be fair. I used a calculator, we were both wrong. Yeah, I still wouldn't have got there. It would have taken me the next 20 years to get to that, to be fair. Only 150,000 grams. I am a superhero. Yeah, so am I. Which one are you? Are you super cockerel? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the cockerel flying in the sky with his Captain America shield. Big up to you, Marco. It's wild to me that players go over to Saudi in the first place, so they're already on 200 grand a week. They're already, I know. It is mind-boggling. But guys, we're going to leave it there. I'm back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with another show with Romero. My thoughts, I'm going to leave everything on the table tomorrow night about Romero. My thoughts, what I think of him, the good, the bad, why I think it's good he's leaving Spurs, why I also think, and this is going to be controversial as well, by the way, guys, why I think he was probably one of the worst Spurs captains we've had in our history. I'm going to leave that there. Guys, thank you all for watching. People think Savinho is bad, but City love him. But the numbers are bad because he doesn't play. If Savinho comes, he will flourish. That's why City are not entering. Yeah, and exactly. Great stream. Road to 1 million subscribers. Let's go. Oh, I hope so. It'd be nice to get to 100,000, actually. It'd be nice to get to 3K for the start of the season. That's my first stream. And then we're going to 100,000 is next. Night time. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, guys. And next stream, let's get the real Daniel Levy on stream. Yeah, we've got more chance than that happening than anything. Guys, on that bombshell, we should leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. In Roberto De Zerbi, we trust.